Our final topic in finance is consumer debt. Inevitably, at some point in life, you're going to run into at least one of these and probably all of these situations. So we're going to talk a little bit about credit cards, which are a great, useful tool so you don't have to carry cash if they're used properly. However, they can end up costing you a lot of money if you don't use them properly. We're going to talk about installment loans. Most loans that you take out are some form of installment loan. Your student loans would be one of them. A mortgage on a house is one. A car payment is one. Specifically, we're going to talk about financing a car and different things that a car dealership might offer you in terms of financing and how to compare the two. We're also going to talk about trying to decide whether we should refinance a mortgage and figuring out what our monthly payment would be in different scenarios for both the car payment and the mortgage payment. Student loans are actually a much simpler option, and so we won't talk about those explicitly here. All right, so with credit cards, there is generally no financing fee if you pay them off in full every month. So that's the best thing that you can possibly do, because then having a credit card is really a free thing to do, and sometimes you can even make money off of the rewards that they have. However, if you have to carry a balance from one month to the next for whatever reason, then you incur a finance fee. So credit cards tell you what their APR is, and they tell you what your billing cycle is going to be. And then you'll get a bill at the end of each month and you'll be expected to pay it. And you'll have a minimum payment that you need to make, and you really should make that at the very least. And you really want to avoid carrying a balance, and we're going to see why that is. So the APR is an annual percentage rate the same way as it had been before. So what credit cards do is they figure out how many days of the year this billing cycle accounts for to figure out what your finance charge is going to be. So what they'll do is they'll take your annual percentage rate, so your APR, and they're going to multiply it times the number of days in the month divided by 365. So in May, there are 31 days, so that makes this billing cycle be a 31-day billing cycle. So in our case, this is going to be 31 divided by 365 times my APR of 0.1724. And when I do this, I get an interest rate that is about 0.01464. So this is about a 1.464% interest payment that I'm going to make on my credit card bill. However, the interest rate doesn't get charged to only your previous balance. So this will be charged for what's called your average daily balance. So what the average daily balance is it's taking all of your purchases paired with your previous balance that you carried forward, and it's weighting them based on how many days you had those charges on your card to figure out what the average balance was on any given day in this month of the billing cycle. And that amount is what they charge the finance charge on. So we're going to make a table. So this was the amount of my purchase. This is the date. This is what it was. All right. So I'm going to use these things to come up with a daily balance. And a number of days that we had that daily balance. Right, so my previous balance was $500, making my daily balance be $500. And then when I paid my phone bill on the 28th of May, I added $85.75 to what I owed the credit card company. So now I owe them $585.75. Then I purchased gasoline on the 5th of June, adding $45 to what I owed the credit card company. So I add $45 to the $585.75, and I find that I owe them $630.75 now. And then finally, I buy groceries on the 16th of June, and I pay $73.60 for them. So now I owe the credit card company $73.60 more. And so I add that to the $630.75 that I owed them before. And I find that I now owe them $704.35. Now I also need to know how many days I carried each of these daily balances for. So I owed $500 for May 25th, 26th, and 27th. That's 3 days. Then I owed $585.75 from May 28th to June 5th. So for the 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, giving me 8 days. Now I purchased gasoline on the 5th, and I owed $630.75 from the 5th until the 16th, giving me the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, so 11 days. And then finally, groceries is the last thing I purchased, making me owe the credit card company $704.35 from June 16th until the end of the billing cycle on the 24th. So I owed that for the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So 9 total days. And if we look at this, we see that we get a total of 31 days there, which is the 31 days that we used to find our periodic interest rate of 1.464%. So now I'm going to use my daily balance and my number of days that I had each of those daily balances to figure out what my average daily balance was. So to do that, I take my daily balance and I multiply it times the number of days that I had it. And then I add that to the next daily balance, multiplied times the number of days I had that balance. And I continue to do that with my 2 other daily balances. So $630.75 times 11 and $704.35 times 9. And then what I'm going to do, I basically have how much money I owed for all of the days combined now in my numerator. So I'm going to divide by the number of days. And that's going to give me my average daily balance. And when I do that, I'm going to get that I have $627.85. So now I'm going to owe the credit card company a finance charge. So I find my finance charge by taking, this is my periodic interest rate. So to get my finance charge, I'm going to take my average daily balance and multiply it times my periodic interest rate. So this will tell me that I'm going to have $627.85 times my decimal form there, 0.01464. And when I do that multiplication, I'm going to get $9.19. So now, what the credit card company is going to show me, what they're going to put on my statement, they're going to have all of this information on your statement. They'll have the dollar amount. So they'll tell you the periodic interest rate sometimes. Usually they have to tell you the APR, and they will usually tell you what the periodic interest rate was. They'll tell you what the average daily balance was. They'll tell you what the finance charge was. And then they'll say new balance. And the new balance will have your previous balance plus new charges plus a finance charge. So for us, that would look like $500 plus our new charges were a total of $204.35. And our finance charge was $9.19, making our total new balance be $713.54. Now you might be looking at this and saying it's really not a big deal to pay an extra $9 if you couldn't make your payment the month before. And that's true. It's not a huge deal to every once in a while have to carry a balance on your credit card. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, they carry a balance every month, always. And so they're paying that full APR on everything that they end up purchasing for the year. And they don't have just small balances. They have very large balances. $500 on a credit card is relatively small compared to what a lot of people carry. In fact, your book tells us that in 2017, the total credit card debt of Americans was over $1 trillion. So don't be a component in that. Know how your credit card works and put it to work for you instead of doing this. So things that you can do to help you out with this. Pay attention to the APR on your credit card. Don't just ignore that. Different credit cards have different APRs, and you can find a credit card that has a decent APR. Also, the APR on cash advances is usually a whole lot higher than what it is for purchases. So don't use your credit card for cash advances. When they send you the checks in the mail, shred them. And finally, if you're having trouble keeping track of your payment date, the due date of your payment, you can ask the credit card company to change that, and they will, always. So just get it on a date that you're going to remember. If there's a date that you pay your bills every month, then get your credit card to be due the same time. The kind of debt that you're going to probably voluntarily enter into at some point in life is financing a car or a house or something, student loans, something where you're making these installment payments. We almost always do monthly installments, that you have your monthly car payment, your monthly mortgage payment, your monthly student loan payment. So we're going to work in months here. And whenever you're dealing with installment loans, a thing called the Amortization Formula is going to be your friend. So what this does is it tells you that your monthly payment is going to be the total price, the total principal that you have, times the periodic interest rate, times 1 plus the periodic interest rate, raised to the total number of months that you have, divided by 1 plus the periodic interest rate to the total number of months that you have, minus 1. And our periodic interest rate equals the annual interest rate, the APR, divided by 12 months. So we're going to be using that formula right there throughout this problem. All right. So when you go to buy a car, a lot of times they'll have some kind of special running. And these specials often look something like you can have a manufacturer's rebate or you can have a really low interest rate. And it's hard to say sometimes which one's the better option. So we're going to go through and we're going to look and see which of these look better. So we're going to go through and figure out what is our monthly payment if we take the $2,000 manufacturer's rebate, and then we're going to figure out what our monthly payment is if we take the lower interest rate option. So let's start out with the manufacturer's rebate. So P is the amount that we're taking for the loan. So it's going to be our $23,995 minus the $2,000 manufacturer's rebate. So the total amount that we need a loan for is $21,995. Now our APR here is 6.48%, so our monthly interest rate is going to be 0.0648 divided by 12, which would give us an interest rate of 0.0054. So now we have everything that we need because we know that we are going to make 60 total monthly payments. So I can find out my monthly payment equals $21,995 times 0.0054 times 1 plus 0.0054 to the 60th power divided by 1 plus 0.0054 to the 60th power minus 1. And you can do this pieces at a time. You can also just plug it all into your calculator at the same time. But when we work all of this out, we should get $430.15. So that's going to be our monthly payment with the first option that they offered us. Now with the second option they offered us, the amount that we're taking as a loan is going to be the full $23,995. Our interest rate is going to be 0.012 divided by 12. So I'll have 0.001 as my monthly interest rate. And the total number of payments I'll be making is still 60. So my monthly payment is going to be $23,995 times 0.001 times 1 plus 0.001 to the 60th power divided by 1 plus 0.001 to the 60th power minus 1. And again, plugging all of that into the calculator and working it out, I find that I'm going to pay $412.23 every month with this option. So, even though the loan amount is more initially, in the long run, the interest makes the difference, and I'm actually better off going with the second option. But just in case you're curious, let's see how much better off I am. So $430.15 is being paid under the first option, minus the $412.23 that's being paid under the second option. So I'm paying an additional $17.92 each month if I take the manufacturer's rebate. So if I do that for a total of 60 months, then I'm going to end up paying an additional $1,075.20 over the lifetime of this loan. So taking the $2,000 manufacturer's rebate in the beginning actually ends up costing me $1,075 in the long run, which is honestly why they offer these manufacturer's rebate programs for the most part. So always check to make sure that the lower financing rate is worth the difference. So you should always check to make sure that the lower APR is worth the difference with the rebate, but most of the times the rebate is not worth it and you're better off going with the lower interest rate. All right, so when you own a house, one of the things that comes a decent amount is opportunities to refinance your home. Most of these are going to be no-brainers that you should definitely not do it because the interest rate is going to be the same or not much different than what you have. But sometimes it's just enough different that you really need to take a look and see if it's actually worth doing. So in order to do that, we need to figure out how much we're currently paying. So we're going to look at a current mortgage of $180,000 at 4.8% APR, compounded monthly over the course of a 30-year mortgage. So we're going to figure out first what our monthly payment is with our mortgage that we have. So our monthly payment is going to equal our amount of our loan. So it was $180,000 times, and now I need that monthly interest rate again. So I'm going to have 4.8% or 0.048 divided by 12. So I'll have my monthly interest rate of 0.004. So then I can plug that into my formula of 0.004 times 1 plus 0.004 raised to the T. Now T is going to be 30 years worth of monthly payments, so 12 of those a year. So I'll have 360 total payments. So that's my exponent here, 360. And then in my denominator, I have 1 plus my 0.004 raised to the 360 power minus 1. So when I work this out, I find that my monthly payment currently is $944.40. Now, that's what I'm going to pay every month for the rest of my mortgage, Now that's how much I'm going to pay for the duration of my mortgage, of the 30-year mortgage, but I've already made 30 of my 360 monthly payments. So to figure out my balance, what I need to do is use this amortization formula, saying that I know that I'm going to be paying $944.40 every month. I don't know how much money is left on my loan, so that's my p-value here. And then I know my monthly interest rate was 0.004, so I can plug that in everywhere where it needs to be. Then my exponent, my t, I was going to have to pay for 360 months originally. I've already paid 30 of those months. So now I have left to pay 330 months. So I plug that in. And now, again, I can work all of this out. And then I'll figure out what is going on in here. And then I'll divide $944.40 by everything that's in my brackets, and I'll end up with the remaining balance of my mortgage is $172,863.07. So that's how much I have left to pay on my loan. That's not the additional interest that I'll be paying for if I continue this loan. So now I'm going to consider the offer that's been made. The offer is that I can refinance, so I can have my principal that's left, so my remaining principal, I can have the loan for that for a 30-year mortgage that's compounded monthly at 3.9% APR. So I'm going to figure out what my monthly payment would be if I were to do that. So my monthly payment is going to be my amount of my loan, so the $172,863.07. And then I'm going to multiply that times my interest rate now. So here, my monthly interest rate would be 0.039 divided by 12. So my monthly interest rate is 0.00325. So I have 0.00325 times 1 plus 0.00325. And I'd have it for 30 years, so I'd have 360 monthly payments of this. I have 1 plus 0.00325 raised to the 360 power also, minus 1. And if I work all of this out, I get a monthly payment of $854.78. All right, so now if I look at what I have here, monthly, I would end up saving $944.40 minus $854.78. So I would end up saving $89.62 every month. Right. So I need to consider, though, the upfront cost. So remember, this had loan origination costs. So the upfront cost to save this $89.62 every month would be $1,500 plus 1% of my loan, which is $1,728.63. So I would have a total of $3,228.63 that I would have to pay up front. Now, I'm saving $89.62 each month, so I can figure out how many months I would have to save for to make it worth paying this much up front by taking, so how many months to save $3,228.63. That's what we really want to know, because if it's within the lifetime of the loan, it might be worth doing. So to find that out, I can take the $3,228.63 and I can divide it up into packets of $89.62. And when I do this, this is about 36. It's 36 and some change. So what this says is it's going to take, so it takes about 3 years, just over 3 years, for me to pay off the upfront costs that it costs. So if I think that I'm staying in my home for more than 3 years, then it's definitely worth refinancing. However, if I'm planning on moving before those 3 years are up, or I think I probably will, then it's not worth refinancing to me, because when I move, I'll be selling the house and paying off my mortgage anyway.